Hi, this is Blazor. Today I want to show you how to create Nuget packages out of the BlazorAppFromScratch.Client.BL and DTO. So those can be included in a future project whenever you need to communicate back to our server. So the agenda for today will be create a Nuget package for Client.BL and DTO. And in order to do that, the first thing I want to do is I want to create a parameter-based constructor for Client.BL so we can pass in the URL. And I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll create a local Nuget feed, and then we'll include that in our BlazorAppFromScratch WASM standalone file so that you can see how it's used. Now, if you want me to include it in the Xamarin, we do need to change out the dependency injection service that we're using, because the current one does not, that's in the default, does not allow for parameters. And there are other dependency injection services available, which we can walk you through. But today is going to focus just on creating the Nuget package and then including that into the WASM project. One thing I want to mention, because Daniel Roth went through it in his initial session, there was a great .NET Conf focus session on Blazor that happened earlier this week. And you can review the video for that at https://focus.netconf.net. And I'll also include that in the description for the video. So check that out as well. There's a lot of great information there. I'm still working my way through some of the videos. So let's go to Visual Studio and get started. I'm here in the BlazorAppFromScratch.WASM standalone solution. And I want to do two things here. First, I want to update the Client.BL so that it accepts a parameter for the URL. And then second, I want to turn this into a Nuget package. So we'll step through both steps. First, I'll go into the Client.BL, or the Client.BL, and let's go into the person client service. And here I'm going to add a constructor. And I'm going to take in a parameter, and I'll call it URL. And then I also want to define a private string underscore person URL, and I'll just make that equal to an empty string. And then here, in the constructor, we'll make person URL equal to what's passed in the URL. Okay. The next thing I want to do is let's just pass that into the helper, the HTTP helper. So I'll pass that. And I will, of course, we're going to get an error right now because we haven't updated that helper, but we'll go there in a second. Make it the underscore person. There we go. And let's go over to the HTTP helper. And I'm going to first accept a string, and I'll call this the base URL, just to avoid any confusion. And we will put that right here. I'm going to leave the slash base URL. There we go. Okay, so that's good. Here we have this. This is all resolved. So that's good. And next, let's go and define in startup, we'll define the person client service with a parameter. So in order to do that, we change that to this. We say s lambda s equals new person client service. We'll get rid of that. And person client service, it's actually telling us right now that there's an error, and that's because we expect a string. So let's go ahead and put the URL. And now I already have my server running. So here's the URL, 44301. Let me just copy that. I'll put that, all right, we'll put that right here. And we'll put the /API, but not with the backslash, as I mentioned before, not the other slash. And that resolves fine. Now let's just run this to make sure that everything runs with the parameter associated with it. I already have the server running, so I don't need to start that. I go into person, and it updates. Everything's looking good. So how do we turn this into NuGet packages? Well, the first thing I like to do is create another solution for my NuGet packages. So I'll go into Visual Studio. I will create a new blank solution. Let's call it BlazorAppFromScratch.NuGet packages. All right, let's create. Now we'll add the projects into this. Okay, so now we'll create the NuGet packages. First, let's create the BlazorAppFromScratch.Client.BL NuGet package. We'll verify the dependencies are updated first. Yep, good. Okay, let's right-click, pack. That'll go ahead and build that, and then we'll right-click and pack on Scratch from DTO. Now what we'll do is we'll go over to our file manager and create a local NuGet location. I've created a folder called Blazor Build NuGet. And right now my projects are sitting in Blazor App from Scratch WASM standalone. If I go to the Blazor App from Scratch.BL, bin, debug, here is the Client.BL NuGet package. And if I do the same thing with the DTO and go into bin, debug, here it is, drag that over. We've created our own little library. And now let's go and look at the Blazor app from Scratch, and let's remove those projects from here. And now notice we've got red squigglies because obviously the references aren't there anymore. And so let's add the NuGet packages. We will right-click on dependencies, manage NuGet packages. Now here, when we click browse, because we're in NuGet org, that's not where they're found. There's no location right now. So we will click on settings. We will update our location. We'll call this one, we're not going to update that. We're going to add, sorry. We are going to call this Blazor Build NuGet, or whatever you want to call it. And we will look for the location. Click on update. Click on OK. We'll go over here and look in the Blazor Build NuGet. We see both packages. Okay, we will install the Client.BL, and we'll see that it has references. Here we are. It has references to Client.BL and DTO and Newtonsoft, so it'll install those. Once it's done with that, no more errors. Let's go back to the startup. Make sure everything's good. It is. So there you have it. And now what we'll do is let's run this again. We'll go to the person, and there we have it. It's working just like we thought. Okay, so now we can use those NuGet packages instead of the DLLs that we had created before. And for Xamarin, you won't be able to use the default dependency service because it doesn't support parameters in the constructor. But there are other dependency injection services available, one called AutoFac and another one called TinyIOC. Both of those will support the constructor parameters. And if you want me to go through a session on that, please let me know and I'll take you through the process of adding those into the project we created and then implementing the Nuget packages there. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, please don't hesitate to contact me. And please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.